So here are 10 mass appealing fragrances that women love, at least through my experience. A lot of the women that I've met, whether they be my wife or friends or coworkers, they all have said really positive things about these fragrances, either when they smell them on me or someone else. I'm excited to let you know what they are, so make sure to stay tuned. Before I begin this video and I tell you about these 10 mass appealing designer fragrances that women love, and I tell you a little bit about each one, what it smells like, how long it performs, so on and so forth, I want to start things off by saying if you like fragrance related content, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified whenever I do upload these videos, and give it a thumbs up if you take something of value from today's episode. And of course, I also want to mention that just yesterday, the pre-orders began for my brand new fragrance. It's a fragrance called Raised Spirits. I've been working on it basically since April of 2021. So I've been working on it for like a year and a half. It's an amazing fragrance: caramel, salted butter fudge accord, vanilla, tobacco, French oak. It has a lot of amazing ingredients in there, composed by two IFF perfumers, Julien Rascanet and Dominique Ropion. Julien Rascanet has done everything from Creed, Asian green tea, Creed Royal Oud, Amouage Enclave, so on and so forth. Dominique Ropion has done Invictus by Paco Rabanne, if I'm not mistaken. He's done Phantom. He's done Alien by Thierry Mugler. The list goes on and on. There is currently a launch offer happening on the website where you can get it at a really good discount. All of the information is going to be down below. If you would like to support me and the channel, I think it's going to be an amazing fragrance for the autumn and the winter time. I have been wearing it nonstop. I'm in love, and I hope you love it too. Let's go ahead and jump into this video. These are 10 mass appealing designer fragrances that women personally love, and I'm going to start with Ultraman by Jean Paul Gaultier. Composed by Francis Kurkdjian, this is an amazing fragrance that has pear and vanilla. It's sweet, it's fruity, it's juicy, and I wore this a bunch. And a lot of the women that I've been around, whether they be coworkers or friends, they always compliment me on this. And I think it's also because this fragrance is so darn strong. A lot of fragrances, you wear them, you don't get noticed. There's something about this fragrance. You put it on, people are bound to smell it on you. Ultraman is amazing and a bit of a step up from Le Male, which I love, by the way. But if you're looking for something younger, something a bit more playful and flirtatious, definitely a sexy fragrance. Smells amazing. And then we're going to go with one that's a bit on the lighter side of things. This one by Bulgari is called Tiger. Now, this is an amazing ambroxan, ginger, and grapefruit fragrance. So it's very tart and citrusy in the opening. That ambroxan keeps the freshness alive for many, many hours. Jacques Cavalier, if I'm not mistaken, is the perfumer for this masterpiece. And Tiger is Bulgari's best fragrance, probably. I know there's Aqua. I know there's a lot of other fragrance that the brand gets praised for, but there's something really special about Tiger. The only thing is that it's a little bit more on the expensive side of things. And then we also have Invictus Victory by Paco Rabanne. What I love about this fragrance is kind of reminds me of Bad Boy by Carolina Herrera. Reason being that this one has a bit of a chocolatey vibe. A lot of the other Invictus flankers have an overdose of tonka bean. In my opinion, this one has a bit of a chocolatey personality. So again, very sexy. This one, Tiger, going back to this one, I've worn this on vacation many times. Even like checking into a hotel, I get complimented. This one, I wear it in the colder weather, and this is a fairly new release if we're being honest, but this one also does really good around my colleagues. Again, could be something that's a little bit stronger, so you don't want to over apply with it, pardon me. And the next one needs no introduction, by Montblanc. This one is called Explorer. This is Creed Aventus on a budget. If you don't want to spend $490 on a 100 milliliter bottle, you can buy Explorer by Montblanc at a deep discount online. The pineapple, the apple, the birch, the vanilla, it has a lot of these familiar components that you've tried in Creed Aventus, which goes all the way back to 2010. This one, composed by a series of perfumers, is an amazing fragrance. But in layman's terms, it's basically the designer version of Creed Aventus, which is like the most complimented niche fragrance ever for a lot of people. Same thing can be said about this one. Every time I wear it, I get compliments. The next one also needs no introduction. I happen to choose the L'Intense version. This one by Yves Saint Laurent is called La Nuit de Lomb. And this one is the L'Intense version, as I said. This one is strong, a little powdery. It has the cardamom, it has the vanilla, it has a lot of sensual ingredients. This one is not as playful and as flirtatious as something like an Ultraman or an Invictus Victory. This one is a little bit more mature, but it's just as youthful. Equally youthful, a little bit more suave, sophisticated. Definitely dress this up, you know, shirt and tie or a dress shirt, just something that looks a bit more on the formal side of things. Also a very sexy fragrance. I've been complimented on the original, but there is no reason why I wouldn't be complimented on the L'Intense as well. And if my memory serves me right, I'm sure I've received a few compliments with this one as well, just not as many as I've received wearing the original. The next fragrance also is a staple for a lot of people. Another fragrance by Montblanc. This one is Legend Eau de Parfum. So this fragrance has that sort of lavender and citrus combination. Some people are reminded of Fierce by Abercrombie & Fitch. Some people are reminded of Percival by Parfum de Marly. Again, it has that youthful, easygoing, casual, very well-groomed, gentlemanly kind of a vibe. It does very, very well. You know, I've owned Fierce in the past as well, and that one has worked wonders on me too. And Percival, I've always touted as my most complimented Marly fragrance. So this one, again, is going to do very, very well for you. The next one has a few different versions on the market. I'm a fan of the Flame variety, but I happen to go with the Parfum this time around because it's a bit stronger than everything else. Versace Eros Parfum. The mint, the tonka bean, the vanilla. It is an amazing fragrance with a familiar DNA, but this one is a bit richer and deeper and more sensual, and I've gotten tons of compliments with the original. There is no reason why I wouldn't get compliments with the Parfum version as well. Very easygoing, great longevity, 8 to 10 hours on your skin. If you spray it on fabric, you can expect a few more hours on top of that as well. And now we're getting into the top three. This one, no matter which version you buy, except for the Absolute version, they're going to do really well. And maybe the Oud. The Oud can be a hit or miss too. But this one is Gucci Guilty Parfum Pour Homme. Now there's the Eau de Toilette, there's the Intense, there's the Eau version, there's the Eau de Parfum. The Parfum version adds a little bit of rose in there. But, you know, Gucci Guilty is this fresh, clean, very well groomed, designer, gentlemanly fragrance, has a youthful appeal to it, and I love it. You know, it's one of these fragrances where, you know, I'm not super intrigued by the smell. You know, it's not one that keeps my interest going for a long time, but something about the DNA just works so well. So this one adds a little bit of rose, so it's a little bit more mature, a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more adult, and more sensual and romantic, if you want to look at it like that. So you're going on a date, you want something that is highly compliment worthy, but you also want to smell romantic, something that really fits that evening vibe, if you will. The Parfum Pour Homme version is going to do very, very well. Next up is one of my most complimented fragrances ever. I'm putting this in the number 2 spot, could have very well been in the number 1 spot. This one by Louis Vuitton is called Meteor. Now this fragrance, the citrus that's in here, it's clean, it's soapy, it has like this drier sheets kind of a quality about it. I know it's gotten compared to Azzaro Chrome. It gets compared to Vodka on the Rocks by Kilian Paris as well. It just has this really clean, you know, Solstice by Fragrance du Bois is another one. And, you know, Green Pearl by Thameen London has a bit of that fruity apple, clean, soapy vibe. All of those fragrances can be bunched into the same category. There's something about this fragrance though, not the greatest longevity out there, and you know, I paid what, 300 or a little less than 300 for my bottle, because you know, Louis Vuitton fragrances are pretty expensive, but this one is amazing, right? If you buy this one, L'Immensite is another one that's very good. Afternoon Swim is amazing. And then, of course, you have like the Ouds and the Ombre Nomade, I think it's called. Those can be a little bit more on the challenging side of things. Meteor, one of the most complimented designer fragrances you could possibly own. I have been wearing this one to work for weeks at a time, and people will compliment me every single day. Co-workers, colleagues, administrators, you name it. It does remarkably well. And the fragrance I put in the #1 spot is kind of fashioned around a popular DNA, but there's something about this fragrance where you want to convey a bit more of like an assertive tone, and you want to express a little bit of dominance, I suppose, for lack of a better word. This one has a touch of that sweetness that you get from the fragrance that it twisted, for lack of a better word. The fragrance, of course, is Spice Bomb by Viktor and Rolf, but the one that I'm talking about in this list is by Bulgari, and it's Bulgari Man in Black. This fragrance is not that new. This fragrance has been around for a while, but there's something about that cinnamony, pink pepper, tobacco, sweet, spice bomb kind of a sweetness, but this one is like a grown-up, more adult, and sophisticated version that still has that sort of, you know, suave, elegant, flirtatious personality to it, but this one is a bit more confident in itself. I love this fragrance. And again, the compliments that I've received wearing it, especially right around this time of the year, I'm talking autumn and winter time, Bulgari Man in Black is one of the best fragrances you can own. And the beautiful thing about it is it's been around for so many years now that you can get it at a discount. Something like a Louis Vuitton or a Bulgari Tiger, good luck finding it at discount, right? I had to pay full price for my bottles. This one I did pay full price for as well, because I bought it right when it came out. But there's something really beautiful about this fragrance. You can find it discounted. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video of 10 mass appealing designer fragrances, a couple high tier designers, but designers nonetheless, that women truly love. And of course, it's all subjective, right? Some women might hate some of these fragrances. Some women might love some of the heavier fragrances that are not necessarily considered quote unquote mass appealing. That's the beauty of fragrances. It's all subjective. I want to thank you so much for watching. Again, if you would like to support me and my channel, I just came out with a brand new fragrance called Raised Spirits. It's going to be the first link down below in the description box. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. If you did, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, give it a thumbs up. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.